So today I want to talk about just the importance of niching down within the controls, automation, BMS industry. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this, but there is just so much opportunity with the skill set in controls and automation, with that electrical control skill set. Like that's like the foundation. And then what you can do is you can build on top of that based on what niche, what sector that you're getting into. And I'm not sure if you've heard the expression, the riches are in the niches. It's an American expression. And how the way to illustrate this point and why the riches are in the niches, I'm going to keep it English, is because if you think about it, let's say that you go to the doctor and you realise that you've got a brain tumour or something like that. I know this sounds a little bit morbid, and you need to get surgery to get it removed. You've got two options. You've got a brain surgeon or you've got a general surgeon. Well, you're far more likely to go with the brain surgeon in this case than you are just a general surgeon. And the reason that you're most likely to do that is obviously, firstly, your life's at risk here. And obviously it's not the perfect analogy for illustrating what I mean, because there's a lot more risk involved, but there's a lot of risk in business too. So it's far less risky for you to go with the brain surgeon because they're specialized in that area. They've done far more brain surgery than they have any other surgery. So they're going to be better at it. So yeah, you're going to ultimately trust, and that's the big thing here, the brain surgeon to do a better job than the general surgeon. So you go with the brain surgeon. So, and it's the same thing in this industry. And if you think about it, and I've done a video on this, and maybe I'll put it somewhere around here, like breaking down all of the different sectors within the industry, or not even all of them, just some of the common ones. But let's think about it. Like there's the residential sector, there's the commercial sector, and then there's the industrial sector. And like residential, really, you're just talking about homes primarily, but you could niche down. And what I mean by homes is, and in this industry that we're talking about in terms of controls, automation, you'd focus on smart homes, home automation. Yes, you'd bring a little bit of building management into it if the property was like much larger, where you're looking more on a commercial level, the commercial size, maybe it's got a plant room, maybe there's a swimming pool in there. So mainly in the residential, you're looking at homes, but you could also, and I've seen this before when I worked at Loxon, is narrow boats. A lot of people, not a lot, but there was a good handful of people my time at Loxon when I was there about a year and a half, that would put home automation into their narrow boats, into barge boats. So that's another niche that you could focus on. Caravans, for example, like you could focus on caravans to do this sort of thing. Before we get into like the commercial and the industrial sector, the point I'm getting at here is there's all this opportunity, and just being a generic, I'm a automation person, I'm a controls person, you're just putting yourself in that category of the general surgeon. And this is where we're getting into more like branding, marketing, the way that you actually position your business and the services that you provide. And we can get into the services in a second. But you'll position yourself as the go-to guy, as the guy that, let's say, does barge boat automation. How many people, there's probably no one out there that actually positions themselves as the go-to people when it comes to barge boats. And then you could niche down even further and be like, if you're looking to use Loxon, for example, and you're, automating your barge boat, we are the go-to people, because there's that trust. They know you've been doing this a long time, you've done this before, etc., etc. It just, you're not just a general automation person. And then you've got commercial sector, which is absolutely massive. You've got BMS, building management systems, or building automation systems, that can go into basically every commercial premises, whether it's a leisure centre, whether it's a hotel, whether it's a block of flats, whether it's in a fire station, police station. It's just endless. Wherever there's a plant room, there needs to be HVAC control, BMS control. So there's loads of niches in that sector, in that industry as well. And then you get into like the industrial sector, where again, it's even bigger, where you've got like automotive, you've got pharmaceuticals, you've got, you could go down like the brewing route. There's more in the commercial sector, there's data centers. It's just absolutely endless when you look into it. If you're watching this and thinking, I want to build real confidence in controls, BMS and automation, whether that's to grow my business or move into a role with more progression and opportunity, this is exactly what we help people do. For example, people like Mo, Callum and Wes, these were guys who were electricians and engineers, and within a couple of months we'd help Mo and Callum land new roles as BMS engineers and Wes a role as a controls engineer. And business owners like Howard, Graham and Matt, where we help them bring all the controls in-house so they no longer have to sub out or miss out on the most profitable work within the industry, capturing the full project pie. So if this sounds relevant to you, there's a link in the description where you can find out if we might be able to help you too. And what made me think about doing this video is over the weekend, I was looking at our local district council magazine that gets sent to constituents, in my local area. So it came through the door and I was just having a browse through it. And on the final page, it talked about money being invested into, or schemes that were happening in our local area. And two of the things that were mentioned here were heating and lighting controls in churches around the local area. And this is a really niche part of the industry that I know from my time in the industry and working at Loxon, this would come up all the time. Churches just have completely outdated heating, lighting systems costing, a lot of money because they're not optimized, or they're not using LEDs, or, there's no intelligent heating controls. So a lot of wasted energy and wasted money. So I always thought, that would, before I saw this and before thinking about this video today, I always thought, that would be a really good niche to focus on, like as the guy who offers control for churches and automation for churches. Now, obviously, you'd want to think about your offer and the services that you provide, whereby it might be something like churches or whoever the decision maker is around churches. And I haven't done this research, but you would call out, that decision maker. But, church owners, that's the wrong terminology, learn how you can reduce your energy spend by 50%, in the next 3 weeks, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of how you're positioning it. You're not like just saying, we're church controls guys. We are people that help you achieve an outcome. That's what people care about. It's the outcome, it's the result. So you could kind of position yourself as that person, and then market and position your business as the people that help churches in these areas. And these two projects, I think one was just a heating control renovation, and that was 30k, and then the other church was heating and lighting, and that was 35k if I remember correctly. So the point is, there's just so many different niches, different sectors and opportunities to capitalize on in this industry, where you can carve out a little section of the market for yourself if you position yourself in the right way, and to help that specific person, that specific niche, solve their problems and get the result and get the outcome that they're looking for, which is mostly, when you're doing things like this, is more saving money, through intelligent, like HVAC control, heating, ventilation, air conditioning control, or more in the industrial sector is automating processes, again, to reduce money on human labor and to increase efficiency. That's generally sort of what the outcomes are that you're looking to provide for people. But you can't do this until you have the right technical skill set. Like, there's no point even going into business before you have the technical skill set, understanding and confidence, because as soon as you start speaking with people, once you've decided your niche, that you're going to focus on, well, then you need to be the subject, not an expert, but subject. You need to understand the subject that you're going to be helping with people with, which is ultimately electrical controls. And then obviously some, depending on what industry you're focusing on, either some industrial control principles or some HVAC control principles. And you're never going to win that trust and be a good solution provider and help customers understand their problems and then how you can help them resolve those problems if you don't understand, the technical behind that. So the way that you would build up to understanding that technical skill set, and we've mapped this out, we spent a lot of time really understanding this and what it looks like, the step-by-step progression path, is firstly, you should focus on understanding electrical schematics. Then once you've understood that and understood like the components inside the panel, outside the panel, the general operation and control strategy, and you can do all of that just from looking at schematics, then what you want to do is you want to then set yourself some real world scenarios that you're likely to encounter on site. And I know that's going to be very difficult if you don't have that expertise and you haven't seen that before, and where you're then like making modifications to these schematics. Then what you want to do is you then want to understand how to build a panel, like the step-by-step process. So something like this, like how do you go from A to Z with something like this, building it to the right standards. Then once that's been built, or you understand the process at least, you then want to understand the testing process where you can test something like this off-site, pre-commission it, get it programmed as much as you can and fully tested before you go on site, because as soon as you get on site, things are unpredictable, delays happen, margin gets eaten up ultimately. So doing all of this off-site is controlled, and you can control your margins because it's predictable and you know roughly time scales and all the rest of it. Then you want to come back to the specifying, design, and documentation, at least when you're learning things the first time around, because even though chronologically delivering a project you would start with the specifying, design, the documentation, the first time round you don't really know what that applies to. So it's important to go through the build process, go through the testing process. Then when you go through the design, specifying, documentation, you can visualize what that actually applies to. Because obviously the designer documentation, the specifying, we're working on paper, we're working on, design work rather than actual tangible stuff. So first time round, it's much better to just get that tangible thing that's in the real world, if you like, understood first, and then you come back round to the process, the design process. Then once you've got all that, and this is where most people go wrong, is then you focus on the programming, the PLC, understanding what system you're going to use. Problem is, most people just jump straight ahead to this stage without understanding like the important stuff that's going to enable you to deliver a project successfully end to end, the things that underpin the programming. So that's kind of like our step-by-step methodology to understand the technicals before you then move into the business. And then once you get through that and you're ready to go down the business side, then firstly you need to understand, well, what service am I going to provide? What niche am I going to focus on? And it doesn't have to be really specialist to start with. Maybe you want to cast a slightly broader net, but ultimately focusing down to be the specific person for that niche, for that sector. Yeah, where you just become an absolute specialist and carve out that little section of the market for yourself where you've got no competition. That's the thing. There's no competition when you niche down really far. And then you can charge higher prices as well because you are the absolute specialist, because you understand that sector really, really well. Then you want to kind of understand who the decision makers are in that, so you can target the right people. And then once you've done that, you want to craft a compelling offer. So not something boring and like everyone else does in the industry, like, control, we're a control specialist. You want to be, no, we are church. We focus on helping churches decrease their energy spend by up to 50% over a 6-month period, something like that. Like what you actually do, whether it's heating, lighting controls, doesn't really matter because you're talking about the outcome that these people actually care about. They're trying to reduce their energy spend and just make things a little bit more accessible, through an app on a phone, because different people use churches at different times. So they might want like different schedules for when, like dynamic schedules, or the ability just to switch heating controls on and off, you know, through an app based on who's going to be using the church. So yeah, taking a step back, before you start crafting your offer, you really need to do your research into that niche, into those decision makers, understand like the current situation in relation to the service that you're going to be providing, then understand their problems, understand their pain, like what pain points these problems create for them, understand their desired outcome, what they really want, and then you can really start empathizing and understanding the people that you're going to help, which will then help you craft an offer around that's going to resonate with those people. And then once you've done that, then you start doing the marketing, the outreach, and then the whole sales process starts and all of that. And that's another discussion. But that's kind of the starting point. And it's so important to niche down. If you want help with any of this, by the way, there's links in the description where we help people advance their careers or their businesses in the industry of controls, automation, BMS. Yeah, check it out. We might be able to help you.